Here are 5 minimalist rules that changed my life. And if you think minimalism means owning nothing, stick around, and maybe the last one can change your mind. Spoiler alert, it's more about finding meaning and purpose in your life and not being weighed down by physical possessions. So, here are the 5 minimalist rules that have changed my life for the better. The first, only own one. Hear me out. We love convenience. We love having more than what we need. Most of us live by, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But I'm here to propose that if you already have one, you probably don't need another one. Apart from the physical space extra or duplicate items take up, they also increase decision fatigue. Owning 30 white towels is fine, if you need that many. But having 4 black blouses that are very similar can be problematic. You'll spend more time trying to figure out which one to put on, and you'll probably always pick the same one. And in that case, you can definitely get rid of 2 or 3 of those blouses because they're just not being used. This principle of only own one has helped me to be very intentional about what I own because instead of buying multiple similar items that I kind of like, I only spend money on things that I really enjoy and appreciate. The second is to declutter regularly. It doesn't stop with, I got rid of some things. Decluttering and living more minimally is a constant and regular assessment of what you own. It does not have to be a set time or date for this to occur. It can just be as you see the need. If at any point you realize you're no longer using something or you no longer find value in it, you can find the solution in that moment. Donate, sell, give it to someone you know personally. But understanding that our things are only as important as the purpose that they serve to us is key. So if there's no longer a use or a purpose, you just don't need that item anymore. The reason many of us become hoarders is because this is a difficult concept to wrap our heads around at first, because we tend to not want to free ourselves of some things just because we spent money on them. But the truth is, money is a resource that we use to get the things that we need. And what we may have needed at some point just may not be what we need now. So sometimes, yes, we wasted our money. But sometimes we purchased something that was useful at one point and it's just run its course in our life and we no longer need it. We want to declutter often enough that things don't build up. Number 3. This one is tied in with the previous and it actually helps us to prevent clutter. One in, one out. Some people argue that this rule is limiting, but it is one of my favorites. And you can actually practice one in, one out on a broad scale or on a very specific scale. For instance, you can say generally you'll only bring one new item in after you get rid of something. Or you can go and be very specific and you can only bring in new things when they are replacing something that is worn out, broken, or lost. Either way, this practice immediately causes you to be more mindful about your things and about what you own, about what you purchase. This concept forces you to consider whether or not you need something badly enough to get rid of something else before you purchase it. It challenges the part of us that wants to be impulse buyers, and it's great. Number 4 is valuing experiences over possessions. Memories and experiences far outlast and mean more than a closet full of half-used items. And experiences are certainly greater than any amount of excessive home decor or trinket that we can purchase for temporary satisfaction or happiness. This sometimes sounds silly because it's easy to say that you would rather have both the possession and the experience. And that may be true. For me, I'd rather an experience because I tend to not want physical possessions because they pile up so easily. And because when you have too much, you tend to use it too little. For birthdays, I prefer to travel and take my kids to do things instead of throwing a party and collecting more toys as gifts that they won't use or that they'll use for a few days, grow bored of them, and then want the next thing. Things and possessions are great, as long as they're consumables and they bring practicality and general use. Otherwise, they're just a waste of your money, or someone else's if it was a gift, and a waste of space. The key is to recognize when you're owning things in excess or when you're owning things that you're not using. And instead of going through life accumulating things, always consider how you can, if possible, turn something into an experience. And the fifth rule that changed my life was simplifying my wardrobe. The capsule wardrobers are on to something. Before simplifying my life, I was a serial shopper and retail therapist, if that's even a thing. The real problem wasn't that I was buying things, it was that I was accumulating random one-off items that really couldn't be paired with anything else in my wardrobe. I was shopping independently for every item. And much of what I purchased was cheap, it was worn out quickly, and it had to be replaced often. So as you probably know, in spite of now having a full closet of clothes, I always felt like I had nothing to wear. And that's because I had a whole bunch of unrelated trendy items that could not complement each other. And learning to look at my wardrobe as a working reflection of my life allowed me to be way more practical, which allowed me to stop shopping only for what I like to look at, but instead for what matches my lifestyle. Sure, I might like a particular dress or a top, but if it would not complement at least 3 to 4 other things that I already own, I know as much as I like it, it just won't be used. I won't wear it. It'll sit with the tags. And although capsule wardrobes get a bad rep, because most representatives of them lack color or traditional excitement, you really can put anything of any color and variety in a capsule wardrobe. The idea is not to be monotonous and dull, it's to be practical. You can create one for any style, and I'm proof of that. And this is also not me telling you to own a capsule wardrobe, but you can make an entire wardrobe of quality pieces that you love enough to wear on repeat and to wear often and wear them in various ways. And honestly, that's the goal. And those are the rules that changed my life.